tried to get her here, but after last week, she was just knocked out after the fire hose last week.
Oh, the fire hose.
Bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Wait for your bagels.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, and all you kids back there in the peanut gallery, it's time to return to those thrilling days of yesteryear when men were men, the women were strong, and the children were all above average. Now, if you grew up in the 50s and 60s, those words ought to strike a little familiarity to you. So your job before we get started is to tell me where those things came from. The first words were ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. There was a Saturday morning show
That's right.
that came on, and what was the name of the show that started out?
Matinee.
Boys and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages.
What about the Cowboys?
It's not the same,
Long John.
Well, no, we got to get this one first.
not the same reference as the peanut gallery, is it?
Nope, it's a different one.
Yeah, that's an issue.
It's a tough one, though. That was called the Big Top. Remember the Big Top?
gonna say Ringling.
Yep, that would have been it. Okay, now the next one was all you kids out there in the peanut gallery. Now what was that?
Howdy Doody.
Howdy Doody. And what was the Indian's name on Howdy Doody? Thunder Thud, you got that. And what was the clown's name? What was the clown's name? Clarabelle.
Yeah, that's right.
And what was the name of the guy in the buckskin?
Yeah, I know what?
In the buckskin.
Oh, I was, Captain Bob.
Cowboy Bob.
Cowboy Bob or something. Buffalo.
Buffalo Bob. Buffalo Bob. Hey, not bad. Okay, well, let's see. Okay, those thrilling days of yesteryear. The Lone Ranger rides again. Okay, what was what his name of his sidekick was? What was Tonto's name in real life? Jay Silverheels. That's good. Okay, I'm going to get deeper now. There was another TV program at that time that had an Indian sidekick. The name of the program was Yancey Derringer. What was the name of Yancey Derringer's Indian sidekick?
Nobody knows that one.
Okay, his name was Pahu. I'm going to dig it even deeper. What was Pahu's name in real life? X Brands. See? X Brands. Isn't that something? Okay, now for the last one. Where was the place that where men were men, the women were strong, and the children were all above average?
Prairie, home prairie.
You got it, all the words almost in the right order.
Prairie home companion.
The Prairie Home Companion. Okay, who was the guy who ran that? Who dreamed that up?
Garrison
Yeah.
Keller.
Okay, and what was the name of the town in Minnesota that it was all dressed up around? It was a lake. It was a lake. Ah, Lake Wobegon. That's good. Now I got your brains working this morning.
Mine hasn't left yet.
It's amazing how much stuff you remember, nonsensical stuff, when you were growing up. But I think when you're younger, your brain's more pliable or something, and you remember silly things like that. Yeah.
Remember, I lived 3 lives.
Who?
I lived 3 lives.
I remember that one.
Yeah, I remember it, but
That was a real busy fella.
I was 14 years old before we ever had a TV, so I missed out on a lot. But I went to my neighbor's friend's house, and I watched TV there sometimes on Saturday morning, so I got to see some of them.
2 more, Mr. Lucky and Boston Blackie. Yeah, Boston Blackie.
Oh boy, Yeah, that's good. Well, I got one for you here. There was a program called Sky King.
Yeah.
Sky King. What was the name of Sky King's airplane?
That was, that Beechcraft.
Yeah.
No, not the model, but the name of it. He gave it a name.
Lady Bell or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Songbird.
Songbird.
Okay, now the next one is, what was the model of Sky King's airplane?
Beechcraft.
Beechcraft, wasn't it?
Somebody said Cessna? It was a Cessna. Cessna 210B. Don't even make them anymore. And what was the name of Sky King's niece? Penny. Hey, you guys, you're pretty good. They're almost over the hill as far as I am. Okay, today, Bible prophecy lesson number 249. We're going to do Isaiah chapter 27, maybe. We'll review 248. Signs of the times, I got a few, and a scripture of the day, and then we'll do Isaiah 27. So, Dean, open us with a word of prayer.
Heavenly Father, we're just so grateful, Lord, to be here today, Lord. We just thank you for our many blessings. Thank you for your mercy and your grace. Be with Carl today, Lord, and lift him up with your Holy Spirit. Learn more about your word. Help us, just help us to glorify you each and every day. We're just going to disappoint you. Guide and direct us. Be with our president, Lord, and lift him up, Heavenly Father, and all these trials he's going through. Just be with us as we continue this week, and thank you mostly all for your coming. Please thank you for that.
Amen. Well, true to form last week, the batteries went out on my speaker, on my microphone, and so we lost the rest of the lesson. So I'm going to go through this and repeat it as best I can remember so that we'll have a record of it on YouTube. So in reviewing lesson 248, there's going to be a great feast planned after the tribulation period, and therein will be fine wine served. And the server during that period will be Jesus himself. And as we learned in that day, the Lord will dwell on the mountain of Zion. There will be one mountain in all of the earth, and that mountain will be in Jerusalem. Jerusalem will be elevated. And on the top of that mountain will be the temple, and in the temple will be the Holy of Holies, and in that Holy of Holies will reside the Messiah. And all nations will stream to that mountain during the tribulation once a year. And any nation that doesn't come up to Mount Zion to worship the Lord once a year will not get any rain that year. That is, they will be required to keep the Feast of the Tabernacles every year. We read that from Zechariah chapter 14. And in that period of time, the Lord will destroy all of his enemies, and all memory of them will cease. That gives us a clue as to what happened to those who are not found among the righteous. They will be destroyed, and that destruction is, the word for it is similar to annihilation, so there will be no more. And during this time of destruction, the righteous will be hidden in their chamber. That word chamber is shadar, and it is the same word that's used for the wedding chamber. And we know that the Jewish custom for weddings is the bridegroom will come at midnight, take the bride away to a place in his father's house called the shadar. It's a chamber prepared for the wedded couple, and therein they will reside for 7 days. Kind of hard to see how that would work, but I think that 7-day period is coincidental with the 7 years of tribulation. So the righteous will be entertained with good things for 7 years, and the wicked will be going through literally hell. And then we know that the borders of Israel will be expanded as God promised Abraham. Everywhere Abraham walked, he said he would give him the land. And that land extends from the Nile River up to the river Euphrates in Iraq today. So going to be a considerably larger Israel than it is today.